Right now on Secrets, tasty Halloween treats, and the tricks to making them yourself.
This one is going to be super, super hot.
We're carving pumpkins and cooking them too.
Now we got a little bit of action going on. Here we go.
A New Orleans dessert takes on the flavors of fall. An old-style pasta that looks like grub worms. And Tim Laird with his own brand of Halloween entertaining.
Wait till you see my new scary cocktails and some cool Halloween treats.
All of that, plus a well-documented ghost story at one of Louisville's highest-rated restaurants. It's all straight ahead.
Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Kevin Harnett with this special Halloween edition. You're going to learn how to make some tasty treats and the tricks to doing them in your own kitchen, courtesy of some of Louisville's top chefs.
It's the tricks of the treats.
We're carving pumpkin, not for decoration. Instead, these are for eating. Coming up, see how Chef Harold Baker from Gary's on Spring puts a Halloween twist on Bananas Foster. He likes to call it Pumpkins Foster.
Halloween special.
Also ahead, pasta in the shape of grub worm. One secret to doing this is on eBay. We'll explain that when we take you to Decca down on Market Street. Plus, it's a longtime favorite for fine dining downtown. But is one of its regulars a ghost? We'll tell you why many people believe this ghost story is true.
And we'll check in with Tim Laird for some Halloween entertaining ideas. I have some new scary cocktails and some really cool Halloween treats. I can't wait to see those. Tim always has something entertaining, especially at Halloween time. But we'll get started tonight with Chef Harold Baker, who runs the show in the kitchen down at Gary's on Spring.
It's a 150-year-old building on Spring Street, which is home to some of our city's best fine dining. And according to Chef Harold, perhaps something else.
They actually say that there's a ghost in here. Believe it or not.
The jury is still out on that one, but we can, without a doubt, reveal the secrets to this. It's Chef Harold's Halloween special, Chicken Francaise, which is full of October flavor. He starts by cutting up an 8-ounce chicken breast, which he'll pound out.
We're going to make this into a scallopini of chicken.
The secret to doing this is to cover the chicken with plastic wrap so your mallet doesn't stick.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. We take a little bit of flour. These are almost like chicken little cutlets. Once I dredge this, we're gonna pick up and then we're gonna go right into the pan.
Now, here's where the Halloween twist comes into play. Time to carve the pumpkin.
We're just gonna take out the seeds.
The secret to making this easy is a large spoon.
It's the best tool for the job.
After cutting the pumpkin into cubes, it gets cooked until it's soft. Then it goes into a food processor.
Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna puree it and we're gonna add a little bit of cinnamon. Now this is cocoa powder. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. This here is walnuts. There's regular old chopped walnuts to our pumpkin. We're gonna fold in some honey, give it a little bit of flavor. Now here is a little bit of chicken stock, nutmeg, just a tad bit of nutmeg, sugar. We're gonna bring this together. Now what we have, yes, our base. This is going to be our base, and what we're going to do, we're just going to start to build our presentation. Now what I have here is something that I really like to, it's a roasted red pepper chutney sauce. Those look good. Now, look at that.
On top of that, he places pieces of roasted acorn squash, and then the chicken.
That was a trick. I just showed you a magic trick. You saw how little bit of chicken that I actually had, and now look what we got. Now, in the oven, what we have here, this is more pumpkin with butternut squash acorn squash. We have a fusion of cinnamon, sugar, oil, salt, pepper. This here is to die for. These are traditional toasted pumpkin seeds. They just have a little bit of cinnamon, some butter, some salt, and pepper. And we're going to go ahead and throw those into this wonderful mixture of October. Happy Halloween.
We'll check back with Harold Baker for the secrets to a pumpkin dessert coming up. Plus, Tim Laird has something up his sleeve, too.
Kevin, I'm pulling out my best tricks for Halloween entertaining, and wait till you see the treats I have this time.
All of that and spooky sweets at Ceviche. Wait until you see what Chef Anthony Lamas is doing with liquid nitrogen.
Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs is a presentation of Kentucky Proud. Nothing else is close. With support from the Kentucky Beef Council. In Kentucky, beef is still what's for dinner. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
Hi, everybody. Kevin Harnett back with you, and welcome back to our special Halloween edition. We've had a chance to visit many local restaurants over the years in doing the show, and some of those restaurants are said to be haunted, most notably in the Silbach downtown, home to the Oak Room.
9 U.S. presidents have been here, along with many other popular figures like Al Capone and even Elvis Presley. But some say one famous guest is still here.
History tells of a woman who was planning a reunion with her husband at the Silbach in 1936. The man died in a car crash on his way to the hotel. Days later, hotel workers found the woman's body on top of a service elevator. Years later, in 1987, a housekeeper reported seeing a woman on the 8th floor walk into an elevator when the doors were closed. Oddly enough, a chef making breakfast that morning reported seeing the exact same thing.
Now, don't let that ghost story scare you away from having dinner at the Silbach. The Oak Room boasts some of the finest food in town. As a matter of fact, it's the state's only AAA 5-diamond restaurant. Another standout on our list of Halloween treats is Ceviche, the Latin restaurant down on Bardstown Road. If you like to mess around with dry ice this time of year, wait until you see what the chef there does with liquid nitrogen.
This is where we get creative. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take some liquid nitrogen. This is minus 320 degrees. We're going to make caramel popcorn, right? We're going to throw it right into this liquid nitrogen. So it's like freezing. What you never want to do is stick your hands inside of it. Okay, never do that. You're not supposed to do that. And what's really cool is you bite this. You see how it's doing this? It'll come right out your nose. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
For this dessert, the frozen popcorn goes over house-made brown butter and macadamia nut ice cream.
Take a little bit of edible flowers, garnish it up real nice, some raspberries, and there you have our brown butter macadamia ice cream with liquid nitrogen caramel popcorn. So just having fun. Got some mint there. And lets it look real pretty. Same thing here. Throw these right on here. Flowers, micro mint, make it look pretty.
Very, very good. Very tasty.
I'll let my plate speak for itself. It was absolutely delicious.
Buen provecho, as we say in Latin America. Good eating.
Amazing stuff at Ceviche. Thanks to Chef Anthony Lamas for sharing his secrets. Up next, we turn our focus to Market Street, where a trendy new restaurant is now in the home of what used to be the old Wayside Christian Mission.
It's Decca, where everything is made from scratch. We picked up some secrets there about how to make a tasty pasta. And at first glance, could be mistaken or grub worms.
I've never tasted anything like it at all.
People are raving about this pasta, and wait until you see the secrets behind it.
Secrets to rolling cavatelli. So here we have some of the Cavatelli dough, which is made with ricotta cheese. You can make your own. Also has Parmesan Reggiano and bread flour or high gluten flour and water. And then we have this old school Cavatelli roller that we found on eBay. That's the secret to the Cavatelli. And so we've cut it into strips and we're gonna feed it through the machine. And bear with me, it's a little squeaky. So we just feed it through the grooves and we roll it. And what we end up with are these little ricotta dumplings that look kind of like grubs. Put these on a tray. From here, we're going to blanch them. Now I have some rapidly boiling salted water. I'm gonna dump the pasta in there. And when it floats, I'm gonna check it, and it should be about done. Before I make the sauce, I've roasted off some shiitake mushrooms, sliced them, and then browned them in butter so they're nice and caramelized. A few thyme sprigs, some lemon juice, salt. Got a nice big cube of butter here. Some chiffonade of fresh sage. This butter is gonna melt and start toasting and turn a nice brown hazelnut color. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the mushrooms that I've roasted just to get them to warm up. And when it gets to the place I want, I'm gonna add some lemon juice to stop the browning. Okay, so now it's nice and brown and caramelized. I'm gonna turn the heat off just so it doesn't flame. You definitely do that at home so that you don't get a flaming reaction from the lemon juice. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of cream. I'm gonna add the dumplings, give it a nice toss. And if it starts to thicken up on you too much, or if the cream starts to break, just add a little bit of the pasta water, pack your plate. I'm gonna top it off with some breadcrumbs, just to give it a nice crunch and texture. These are made from our sourdough focaccia, which we've dried out and then toasted with butter and sliced garlic and salt slowly in a saute pan. This took about an hour. And then to finish, just some fried sage leaves. So we just picked some nice sage leaves and fried them in 350-degree oil for about 10 seconds. And there it is, cavatelli.
The pasta was delicious. Oh my goodness, it was fabulous.
Let me just say, that pasta, it's scary good. Thanks to Chef Annie Petrie for sharing the secrets. And we have a lot more coming up, including a twist on Bananas Foster using fresh pumpkin. It's something you can do at home.
Also coming up, I'll share the secrets to my new Green Monster cocktail.
More tricks to making tasty Halloween treats coming up.
Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs is a presentation of Kentucky Proud. Nothing else is close. With support from the Kentucky Beef Council. In Kentucky, beef is still what's for dinner. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
Certainly feeling like Halloween out here, looking like it too with all the pumpkins, the mums, the scarecrows. It puts you in the spirit. And when I think of spirits, I think of one person who knows a lot about it, and that's our very own CEO, Tim Laird. Timmy?
Happy Halloween, Kevin. I have some great ideas for your food and cocktails for your Halloween party. Starting out, what I like to put out are some pumpkin cupcakes or pumpkin bars for your guests to enjoy for dessert. Also, I like to make thematic ghost and bat sandwiches. Simply use cookie cutters to cut out your bread. For the bats, I have a little pumpernickel with a little bit of cheese spread in the center. And for the ghosts, I have a little white bread with a little bit of Benedictine on the inside. Very nice. And then, of course, we have to have some Halloween cocktails. I'm going to start out with my Southern Scream. It's a delicious cocktail starting out tall glass with ice. About 1.5 ounces of Southern Comfort goes in. To that, I'm going to top this off with a little bit of orange juice. And then, you're going to love this. A little bit of grenadine that I'm going to drizzle in the glass. Kind of give it a nice bloody, eerie event. Top it off with a black straw. There you have the orange and black colors of Halloween with a little curdling blood thrown in, my Southern Scream. And this is another great cocktail. Wonderful, easy to make. This I call the Green Monster. Starts out with a shaker with ice. To that, about 1.5 ounces of Woodford Reserve. And then 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. Really make it kind of a nice tropical drink. That goes in. And then 1.5 ounces of melon liqueur. This is going to give it that eerie green color that we want. So shake this all up. Again, that's just 1 part each of Woodford, pineapple juice, and melon liqueur. And then what you're going to see is when I pour this out, it's going to be an eerie green color with a little froth on the top. Here it is, my Green Monster. Absolutely perfect. That will make your Halloween party sparkle. Now, for a scary garnish, here's what I like to do. I like to take some lychee nuts, which you can find, actually it's the lychee fruit. You can find this in the stores, in the Asian section. And then I stuff it with a little bit of red raspberry jelly, and then add a blueberry to give you that eerie effect of the pupil. Kind of a scary eyeball garnish that will go into any of your wonderful, scary cocktail drinks for Halloween. Finally, pumpkins have to come into play, and what I've done is actually used a pumpkin for skewers of antipasto that I put in. You can put anything on the skewers, but the pumpkin adds a nice dimension to your Halloween party. So Kevin, use some of these tricks to make your own Halloween treats. Cheers and happy Halloween.
And cheers to you, Tim. Thanks for the great ideas. Now, it wouldn't be trick or treat without something sweet, right? Well, it's time for dessert. And for that, what do you say we head back to Chef Harold Baker?
This dish is going to be pumpkin Fosters. And we're going to add a little bit of whole butter, followed by brown sugar. We're going to let these two dissolve together. Cinnamon. You can't have a pumpkin Halloween Fosters without cinnamon. Here, we'll do another one. There we go. The secret ingredient is pumpkin. And there goes that pumpkin. And now, Woodford Reserve, Brown & Forman, Kentucky, world class.
The bubbling, bourbon-infused pumpkin sauce will go right from the stove to this.
Now, what we have here, this is the pumpkin. And I've actually flash fried the pumpkin. This is going to accent our pumpkins Foster.
And how about this? It's homemade pumpkin ice cream.
We took some pumpkins and we cooked them off in a simple syrup with some nutmeg and cinnamon.
He pureed that mixture, then added cream and sugar to make ice cream. Wow! And watch this as Chef Harold pours on his sweet pumpkins Foster sauce.
Look at that, look at that, look at that. Now, if that wasn't enough, what we have here is I've taken the old traditional pumpkin seed and we've toasted them, but we've candied them as well. And we're just going to put a little of that on top to give it some crunch effect. So there you go, candied pumpkin seeds.
We hope you've enjoyed the show, learning the tricks to some new Halloween treats. We appreciate the hospitality of the folks here at Tower View Farms and Nursery in J-Town, to the chefs who've revealed their secrets. For Tim Laird, I'm Kevin Harnett, and we'll see you next time.